Hi, this is Kevin Sharp from Kevin Sharp Outdoors, and this is a life experience video that I'd like to share with y'all guys today about a couple of situations that happened to me and my family over the last few days. And here on the table, I have a few items that directly relate to those situations and the stuff that I learned from them. A couple days ago, we had some severe weather come through the area, and for my family's safety and my own safety, we decided to bug out and we went to a storm shelter that we can go to. And as I was walking out the door, I grabbed my EDC kit. Now, for y'all who don't know what EDC is, it's everyday carry. I carry this every day whenever I go to work, whenever I come home. It's always around. Inside this kit, I have a few tools that I think are valuable enough to keep with me all the time. One of those is a flashlight. The other night, when we were at the storm shelter, when I got down there, their power directly comes from the house. So if the power went out, then the lights would go out, and it would get really dark down that storm shelter. So I pulled my flashlight out, and I'm holding it there just in case the power goes out. And I'm like, I sat there for 2 hours holding this flashlight until the weather passed. And I was just sitting there thinking, it's aggravating having to hold something like this for 2 hours, and not having a free hand. So I came up with a little something that helps with that, and that's this. It's a little necklace, and I just used some paracord that I had, and a hook, a little hook like this that come from I don't know if y'all ever bought those necklaces that you keep your time cards on. Well, this is that little hook that comes along with it. So I got a couple of these, and I was going to show you what I figured was, most of my stuff has lanyards on them. And what I could do is just take this little hook and open it up ahead of time. Probably easier with a carabiner. Just take it and hook it on, just like that. And then this flashlight will stay right there on my neck, right there here on my chest. And if I happen to need it, if the lights would have went out, all I got to do is just reach down here, grab it, and there it is. Really easy, really simple. Just a simple thing. And it'll work for more than just one thing. Like I said, could be anything with a lanyard on it. It could even be a set of keys, a knife, anything like that. Just anything that you need to keep on you really close, but not necessarily in your pouch. This pouch was on my side, but if the lights would have went out, digging through this thing, even with the lights out, I've got multiple zippers, multiple pockets in this thing. It would have been really difficult for me to have found that flashlight. That's why I took it out in the first place. And that's another thing that I learned, with your systems. It's little things like that make a big difference. I've learned that a lot. This little pouch right here is made by Case Logic, and I got it from Walmart, I think, for $5 to at the time, it wasn't for EDC. It was mainly for a cell phone, and just to keep, my cell phone on my side. But I found a better one to use my cell phone, and this one just kind of got put to the wayside. And one day I was just coming up with EDC, and I was like, hey, I still got this little pouch. I'm going to use it. And it comes in real handy, and I suggest everybody has one. The next situation, well, let me go ahead and show you how to make the necklace. All you need is a piece of cordage like this, and what I recommend is if you cut the cordage, what I found, burn the ends of them. Take you a cigarette lighter and just burn the ends of them and melt them down like I have, and it'll keep you, because most people, what they do, they'll take it and they'll tie it in like a little knot like this. And what I found to happen is, with me, when I used to do this, all this right here would come unraveled and just be a big fluffy mess. And I just got tired of that, and I found that if you burn them, that they won't do that. And there's another reason. It's for this. You undo this, getting those fluffed up ends, those little feathery ends through a small loop like that is very difficult. So when you melt them, it kind of prevents that. So all you gotta do is just put this little hook on here, bring it down about halfway, and then what I do is I take my two ends, cross them like this, and it's very simple. Just tie a very simple overhand knot here. There is a name for this kind of knot, and I can't think of it right off the bat. I'm sure a lot of you guys out there know what it is. Same thing on the other side. Just take your wrap it around and make you a nice, wrap it around and make you a nice little overhand loop. Just like that. See how easy that is? Pull it down tight. And then take the two of them and pull them together. And they will bind against one another. And there you have your little hook necklace. You just put it around you, and like I said, you've always got your handy dandy flashlight right here where you need it. And it's easy to get to, and you can swap them out. You can swap anything out in this little system. A little system to go along with the system. I made this one, and if you think it's dumb looking or whatever, you can always take this little necklace and just do like I do, just put it underneath your shirt. People won't even notice it most of the time. And then when you need it, all you gotta do is just pull it out and it's right there. Really simple, really easy thing. I learned that the other night at the storm shelter, that sometimes you need that just right there, right handy. I mean, you could say, we'll put it in your pockets and all this. Well, what happens if you're all of a sudden the lights go out, you jump up, and the person next to you bumps into you, and you're trying to fumble around in your pockets and all that? It's just right there. I mean, all you gotta do is reach down and grab it. And that's what I think would give me a little bit of an advantage in that situation. The second situation that happened to me the other day was a real eye-opener for me, and it taught me a very valuable lesson. I went to work the other day, and like most of you, your workplace probably doesn't allow you to take something like this inside where it's got a knife and all that. And I know they pitch a fit where I'm at. No weapons allowed, no weapons allowed. If you consider some of this stuff in here a weapon, and there's something wrong with you. But anyway, they do. So I don't take my EDC in with me. But there's something else that I do take in with me. That's my lunchbox. And when I walk in, usually what I do after I get out of my vehicle, I usually have these sitting out, or in my hand. And used to, I would keep them in my pocket. And with work, they would get bumping up against my leg and stuff, and it'd be a big distraction. So what I do, I just throw them in my lunchbox. Set them up in our little shelf that we got set up to keep our personal belongings. And I started working. Well, as we were working, one of my friends noticed some police officers had come in the building. And I was looking at them, and I was like, that's kind of weird, Yeah, it's normal to see, one every once in a while come in. But this time there was like 3 of them. We was like, something's weird with that, But we kept on working. We were just going about our daily business. And then all of a sudden we look up, and here comes security guards. They're like, you got to evacuate the building now. So we tear off. I had enough time to grab my sweater. But the one thing that I forgot to grab could have been the most important. That was my keys. I left my keys in my lunchbox. I run out the door into this, basically a corral. If it had been an active shooter situation, we'd have been in a lot of trouble, because the security guards didn't have their 1s and 2s down, and they didn't have the back of the fence unlocked. So then they had to unlock the fence, open the gate, and let us out into this little, well, not little, a big field right beside our plant. So we walk out there, and I'm standing next to a buddy of mine who happens to be a Vietnam vet, and he says something to me, and it just clicked. I'm just like, I'm so stupid. I cannot describe to you how stupid I felt. He said, and I quote, "I'm glad I have my keys on me, that way if something bad happens, I can get out of here." Ding, ding, ding. Lights went off. I'm like, man, my keys are still inside the plant, and they're not letting anybody get back inside the plant. So what do? I'm like, all right, I know one thing I'm going to do. I'm sticking right beside my buddy, because I know he's got his set of keys on him. I'm like, so if something does go down and we need to get out of here, wherever he goes, I'm going. I just hope he doesn't run me right into somebody that's shooting the place up. So anyway, about 30 minutes pass. The police say everything's all clear. We walk back into the building. And the first thing I do, I walk to my lunchbox, I grab my keys, and I put them back in my pocket. And from here on in, that's exactly where they're staying. This is valuable, a very valuable thing, a very valuable resource to be able to bug out to get out of there. And I didn't have it on me when I needed it the most. I didn't have it on me, and it taught me a valuable lesson that people like me who or call themselves survivalists and look at survival stuff, you need to be prepared. I wasn't prepared that day. What's the rule in Boy Scouts? Always be prepared. And I failed in that respect, and it could have cost me. It could have cost me a lot. I'm just glad it was a threat and not the real thing, or it could have got real bad for me and my family. So that was just a little lesson that I learned just from everyday life. Actually, a couple lessons that I think could help you, and I hope it does help you in the future. Just remember, there's some things that you got to think of. Everything that you put on you is as a system, as a kit, and you got to keep your important stuff on your person at all times. I've been Kevin Sharp, and this is a Kevin Sharp production.